There we go. Right, welcome, everybody. Let's just let this last person in. Just hide this down there, and then off we go. Right. So let's rewind a bit, okay, and let's go. Let's let these two people in. Right, let's go to today. All right. Now, interesting enough, we obviously spoke about lots of times it happens. Non-farm payroll has been removed from the calendar. So it makes today a little bit easier. Makes today a little bit easier. I did see Trump was speaking last night, so I do need to do a bit more research on that. I haven't done anything on it yet. Um, yeah, this obviously happens. It's not cancelled. It just means they've moved it probably because of the data that's come out. Um, so they've just postponed it a bit, and obviously dollar is on a bit of a run. I mean, it's the only place where money is flowing right now. So the only thing that we have to be aware of today. So I might add in a USD CAD trade is the unemployment rate for USD CAD and obviously employment change. So let's wait and see. I might add in USD CAD, especially if we don't have any triggers this morning. We're very close. So yeah, but obviously yeah, this week I've gone back to TradeZilla because it's yeah, it's better, but obviously this includes the broker fees automatically, so obviously that's why everything's a little bit lower. I actually made a bit of a boo-boo last night. I didn't realize until this morning. I had the gold and USDJPY alerts, and obviously I just presume that I'd close them. I had stop losses and everything, but obviously, yeah. I woke up this morning, it was like bang. I was like, wow. So yeah, very lucky. But yeah, I definitely don't know if I'm catching something, but obviously, yeah, I wouldn't. That doesn't ever happen to me. So normally I'm pretty strict. So not sure why. Maybe my brain's overloaded. Right. So looking into the US dollar today. Right. Remember, we obviously want to stick to the same routine. So yeah, let's make sure that we do. So check in what's going on with the dollar. I'm going to go into crypto in a bit as well, just to give everyone a bit of an understanding. So dollar currently, like I'd said yesterday, I did think this 98 was going to get tapped. We did have that run, and obviously it helped us in the afternoon because we caught that run all the way up. So it's brilliant. So, you know, yeah, that was obviously, brilliant, brilliant call or expectation. I think we're going to come up and tap 98 again. We've got no reason for obviously markets to change direction, and that's obviously what we've got to understand. So yeah, let's wait and see what ends up happening. I am bullish on the dollar still. I've kept again. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I've made sure I've kept our trades a bit smaller. So stop losses are a bit smaller. TPs are a bit smaller because we're not clear out the woods yet. So expect a bit of Friday flows, but I think I don't know if we're going to get that many. I mean, it's been pretty crazy. The only thing that's quite interesting is everyone's like crypto's crashing, the stock market's crashing. But actually, if there was that much of an emergency, what would be the one thing pumping? What would be flying out of the sky would be gold. All right, it would be flying out of the sky. It's not. Um, so that's one thing that's quite interesting. Yields, we've got those, back in this, zone. They obviously had a huge, sell off yesterday. Interesting that you would put gold pumping a little bit yesterday. Obviously, gold dumped too. The only thing that pumped yesterday was the dollar. That's it. So that's obviously yields are obviously back trading. I do think they'll probably close today outside of obviously our old consolidation. So that's why I'm just still obviously erring on the caution of dollar strength. Stocks have obviously dropped too. So when obviously we have a big drop like this, there is more movement to the upside. So that's obviously option number two. Now, going on to Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin up 3.5% today, dropped down to below 60. I actually think it's going to drop a bit more. Okay, so most of the time it drops around 85% of the last bull run. All right. So, if we're looking at this every time on a bull, on a bear, cycle, it drops about 85%. This is a huge move here. So I'm interested to, see obviously what's gonna happen here. Um, I think, there's calls that it could drop as low as, 30, but I'm not too sure. I mean, that would be a bit scary. There's random claims that Jeffrey Epstein started Bitcoin. I don't know if you've seen that on there. It's just been spoken about. Why are you buying it? It's not worth anything. Blah 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 blah. It's going to, zero. I'm actually gonna hold out more. I think, it's one of those things where I think when you think it's done, it's going to carry on. So I do think we've kind of, if we're mirroring this kind of a move here, all right, on Bitcoin potentially, right? It was a huge move. This, um, then obviously you can see we're kind of mirroring this in quite a way. However, this is a bit longer, so this is a little bit longer, all right? That would make this a little bit longer. So I think potential, yeah, I mean, I'm going to change my angle. I'm surprised it's got down there so quick, but I think, yeah, I think anywhere here is the one. You're not going to lose out. I do think there's one, even if it is, I just can't see crypto going to, zero. But obviously, Donald Trump, he's pulled out 5 billions worth of Bitcoin. You got the owner of Ethereum, he's, selling Ethereum. You got Binance having issues with processing withdrawals, which was the same issues FTX had. There's a lot of weird things happening, but whether it's just obviously crypto hype. So, for anyone who trades crypto, just be a bit careful. All right, that's all I'm saying. I don't recommend trading Bitcoin, right now. And if you do, try to sell it. All right, right. So let's obviously have a look at some of our trades here. So gold, we're hoping for a little pop up here, right into this area to then sell it, not pushing it. I definitely think this is achievable. I was surprised it didn't trigger earlier. So yeah, let's wait and see. I'm hoping we'll get this trigger. So that's what I'm hoping for. USDJPY, similar. It's the only yen pair that's down. Yen is, I think yen's a bit of the calm before the storm. There is this intervention potentially coming. It's quite scary for the US. So it's when the US shifts to buying yen, and obviously all these things might be happening, but they've got to buy billions of yen to obviously have an impact. So they need to have equal share of yen that yen have got of the pound of the dollar, because obviously it's been so good to swap your yen for obviously US dollars. So they own I think they own enough US bonds, I think, to crash the US market, but obviously it's also going to crash yen. So it's not in anyone's interest, but it's weird that they've got that control over the US. It's crazy, but that's obviously China and Japan. So yeah, that's obviously an interesting one. So let's wait and see how that one works out. So yeah, I don't think that I think this intervention, when it happens, it's going to be called, a weekend, so it just drives everyone crazy, and obviously, so I don't think we need to worry too much. I don't think it's going to happen today, but when it happens, it's going to be huge. So on any yen paid trading, have a stop loss in, because there is that potential. Aussie, broke down below, so finally made this new, low here. So just want this to pop up a little bit more, into this here. You can see if I drag this over, you can see how much support's here. All right, or support slash resistance. So I just want to tread it a bit carefully, have it there. Pound, I was expecting this to tap at 7, but yeah, very nearly tapped this morning. I think if we're going a 5 minute chart, that was obviously the 740. We didn't quite tap, which was annoying, but there we go. So hopefully we'll obviously get, one more chance, and obviously we can tap in and then go pull down. Euro, similar. I'm actually confident this one might tap, but obviously, yeah, just want it to. I'm happy with where everything is. Trends to the downside. Macros are supporting the US dollar. And also, we have got, no real news coming out today. So it's all about hype. All right. There's no kind of hard data to change anything, so I do think dollar probably will strengthen. I'd like to see it hit 98 or break 98, and then I think if it does, we might see a Friday sell-off. Just to kind of correct it back to where it should be, which I think probably in between, 97,500 and 98. But I would like to see us catch this morning up to, say 98,200, and then I'd like to see a bit of a, sell off a bit later on this afternoon. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for. But let's wait and see. Um, Gone obviously aggressive, but obviously, you can see here how slow markets have opened. We've had no crazy moves, so I don't know. We'll wait to see what happens. I don't think we should push it anymore. But obviously, if we don't get, I'll go ultra aggressive a bit later on. Right, let's have a look at the chat. Um, let's have a look at the chat here. So, morning, 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 morning. Morning team. Newbie here. What software do I need to put on the trades? Either MT4 or MT5. Rich, this is TradingView here. All right. So it's www.tradingview.com. I've been through this with everyone a few times. They obviously do they do like free plans. However, I would obviously look at potentially just purchasing the 12.95 because obviously it just gives you a few extra bits. All right, but obviously trading view is where we plot everything. If depending on how we want to do it, if there are a lot of beginners, I know that we've done it. Um, a few times, but I'm happy this weekend to do a like beginner, video, or maybe what I do because I did my course. I've got a few beginner videos which I can put in the group for everyone to obviously, just to set up trading views. So if you guys want me to, I can obviously put that in. It tells you obviously how to, how I've got everything marked up, what all these are. So yeah. Um, so that's obviously it. Hi Dan, a question. The areas of support and resistance, so you look for them in the same time frame or higher time frame. What I always suggest is whatever time frame you're kind of trading, unless it's a low time frame. I use the 2 hour because I'm an intraday trader. All right, I like intraday trades. Yeah, if I want to go probably anything over 2 hour, like even 4 hour, you've got to expect a bit of a swing. All right. Um, but I like to probably say stick to where you're at. Stick to obviously everything. So if you're trading 50 minute, your entry needs to be on 50 minute. Your levels need to be on 15 minute. Everything. I think that's where everyone gets I used to do it to do it too, and obviously it was working very, very, very well. However, what I think is best is to stick to your plan. So stick to your time frame, because we all do it when we can't find a trade like gold. Right now, we might be looking at the 1 hour and then we haven't seen anything. We're looking at the 30 minute, 15 minute, 1 minute, and then we might be like, right, you know what? Yes, there's an evening star there. We're going to sell here. Like rather than sticking to your time frame and obviously doing what we do best, which is wait for trades to come to us. All right. So Rich, what I'll do is I'll put these videos in, and obviously then it'll help. Maybe I'll do a bit of a um, live on it potentially one day next week to morning down. What's the update on the copier? No update. I've switched it off. I am in talks, or I'm looking into doing a bit of a challenge copier. So it'll be a bit more of a fun one. It might be like, 100 to 1K or 1K to 10K, but a bit of a, fun one, but it'll be ultra high risk and it won't be every, single day. So that's, something that I'm looking at, maybe, but you know what? One thing that I come into this, one because I wanted a community to obviously trade with. Trading is a very very lonely game, but obviously too, I wanted to genuinely help and obviously make sure that everybody, because I've noticed in the industry. Obviously, I've worked with other people in the industry before I start. I obviously had my idea to do things properly. But obviously, the industry is plagued with just strategies and ideas which are not plausible, not feasible. Not There's no longevity. All right, what I do, there is longevity here, and I want everyone to, slowly over. It's not going to take you, one week, 1 month. It's going to take you, 6 months, 12 months, and then I would hope after 12 months in the group, you will be able to place your own trades. You'll be in a great routine. You'll be comfortable. You won't have blown an account in ages. These are all things that you've got to, kind of tick off, and that's the, stepping stone to becoming profitable. So, I had a call with someone last night, and one thing that I kind of highlighted and obviously highlighted to me again is how, we completely forget that once you master this, and obviously, yes, it will take you a year to 18 months to kind of master it. But once you master it, you can do this forever. You've got access to a machine where you can take money out of, but you've got to put in that work, and everyone rushes it. Everyone just our especially in the UK, our mentality is just we've turned into a get rich quick, you know. So yeah, it is what it is. So just don't rush it. Number one goal is don't blow a trading account, and then obviously build your routine. Obviously, that's what I try and really really structure with everyone is building the routine. I'm trading at, same times. I don't touch anything in between. And then I'm looking at this time. I don't touch it afterwards. So hopefully day in, day out, how I do every morning breakdown, I look at dollar, I look at yields, I look at stocks, I look at the, news, just pick up the routine. It isn't random. I'm doing it every day to drill into everyone what you need to be doing. Um, how long max do you keep trades open after they trigger? I mean, maximum will be so mornings might be a bit longer, if we get a trade trigger and it's coming into the US, but I don't hold trades past probably five. All right. So I don't hold trades probably past 5 p.m., but I will always update you as to what I'm doing. It'll either be via a text post or video. So make sure you obviously watch them. Don't forget the cardboard traders on YouTube. You have definitely changed my concept of staying patient and to wait out like you teach. I've stopped over trading good. My problem is the patience, getting more control of the right size, but a bit hard. Do you think the markets crash in our lifetime? A lot of people make money off it nowadays, and I don't think the elite actually want that happening. Um, so I would say this year is a very unfortunate year for, I mean, this year and, last year is a very, very unfortunate year for everyone trading. All right. Because you've come into it at the most volatile. It's fucking crazy right now. It's not even gold is not normally this crazy. All right. So we'll wait until a couple of years, it calms down, it'll be, easy, and yeah, it's a lot more chill. It is friggin' hard right now, all right? It's really, really hard. It's like, I'm not sure obviously how many you follow, football, but it's like rather than starting in the Conference League, you're having to start in the Premiership because it's just so hard and it's mixing and nothing's trending, so yeah, just be a bit, a bit wary of it, right now. But so I forgot what the question was. No, yeah, I don't think markets gonna crash. I mean, there is, stats that the, stock markets have outperformed even the UK housing market over the last 25 years. So you would have, everyone's made all this money on property, but if they'd have put the same money into the, stock market, they would have made more. So yeah, yes, stock market. This is the whole history of the top 30 companies in the US. Like the worst crash we could have is this. All right, that's the worst one in history. That was 2020. COVID, you know, obviously, look, that's not going to be that crazy, is it? So don't panic, don't worry. Companies, we're in a spending era, so everyone's spending. Everyone's always gonna spend, now because of, the pressure of social media, how obviously apps work, how subscriptions work. Every company is smashing it. So especially the top that dirty. So no, I don't think there'll be a crash. Obviously, remember the elite own these companies. If the stock market crashed, Elon Musk is going to go from the richest man in the world to probably, the poorest man in the world. So that's not going to happen. All right. That's not going to happen. Also, stop over trading. Yeah, over trading is it's just all trading is. I promise you, it's having a plan and then sticking to risk. All right. If you have a plan, stick to it. I promise you, it doesn't matter what strategy you try. If you just repeat it over and over again and you stick to your risk, you stick to your plan, it will be profitable. All right. Try it. Try it back. I've tried back testing random ones. Like I said to you guys, on another, live, I've tried like buying gold every day at half one. That was, 1 to 3 risks to reward over a year. That's profitable. It's you could probably do any strategy, and it will be profitable. So, yeah. What's your opinion on prop firms? I think they're brilliant. I just think you've got to be ready, and I think you've got to I think you've got. I don't think you need them, and I don't think I wouldn't recommend them, because I think if you were to build an account from say 5K up to 100K, it sounds hard. It scales really quickly, but if you were to do that, you're gonna be a forever trader. All right, a forever trader. But if you just what prop firms do, it's very, very clever. They play on personality. All right. Everyone just thinks, oh, you know what? I keep blowing accounts and it's because I haven't got enough money, you know. So, but it's not that. That's not the case. It's because, if you're blowing 300 quid, you're going to be blowing, a hundred grand. All right. So, but everyone looks at that, right? I'm going to get 80%, sometimes 90%. And they've told me that they're going to pass my challenge too. So that's going to make it even easier. And once they pass it, I'm going to trade properly. I'm going to trade properly. Like no one does. And even if you do, you half the time on half the prop firms, you're not going to get paid out anyway. I've had that. I used to trade them years ago. Um, I've had it, and it's the most demoralizing thing ever. What happens month after you end up triggering your max drawdown? So no, I would recommend building your own account because it's not the first few years. It's not about making money. It's about getting that consistency. Once you get to 20K, if you're if you've taken, say for example, over 6 months, you've taken 1K to 20, all right? And then after 20K, you might be like, right, you know what? My goal now is to do 20%. Doing this. So you're going to make 4K a month. You might take 2K out and leave 2K in and then grow it, grow it, grow it. And so you've got to that's how you've got to trade. All right, that's how you've got to trade. Hey, does your course cover the news and other elements of the market you watch out for? Yes. Also, cheers, Andre. Andres. I also, if you go to the day two of the boot camp this week, that's obviously got a lot of details. Is it the iPhone app or the desktop app used to place pays? That's you can choose. Drop me a message, Rich, and obviously we'll help you. So yeah, it's not a problem at all. But yeah, I would probably at the start I'd place trades on your phone, but I'd monitor trading view on a laptop. Is TradeZilla worth it? And is there anything else you would recommend? I mean, they're all, worth it. Trade tab's free, but obviously, because it's free, it has a few issues, like it's not uploading at the moment. Whereas TradeZilla, I can't remember how much I pay for this. I think it's like 39 quid a month. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I don't use here. I just like the journals and stuff like that. But yeah, so yeah, I think journaling's great. If you because you can really go back and obviously check how you're getting on. So I do think journaling's worth it. Definitely. You can see obviously how everything's scaled up. Look, we started this on June the 9th, and it's scaled up nicely. Very, very nice. And obviously, we've ramped it up since then. It's been flying. So, yeah, pretty happy. But yeah, so no, definitely think journaling's great. We're obviously in an era where journaling, software helps. So yeah, Aki Gold incoming. Yes, pumping up nicely. How do you look at price action? Is price movement consistently or anticipated or rather monitored? So it's just trend. All right, trend is very, very easy. Use the EMAs like I go over. I've got, just go on indicators, moving average. It will really, really help you. It's a beginner friendly. All right, so this is the 200. All right, you just change this bit here, length 250. But also look at it from, that's obviously one thing you can use. All right, on this aspect, it's technically trending to the upside. But then if you look at overall trend here, all right, this low here to me, made a new, low. So what I always say, if you're new, what goes down must come back up before it goes back down again. So that's obviously how you got to look at it. Let's just have a quick go. This one's a bit longer. This one, I want GBP and euro to tap. I do think gold's looking like we might be lucky, and then obviously potentially USDJPY. But let's wait and see. Is that 1K to 20K actually doable over 6 months? Not over 6 months, no, but maybe over 12 months or 2 years. And if you've done that, I promise you, you will not look back because you'll be on it. All right, because that is the biggest lesson ever. Which kind of method do you use in your course? Do you also cover volume analysis? Covered lots of things in there. I've changed my scope slightly. So what the course will do, it will give you a real kind of rounded approach. If you're a beginner, it's brilliant. But obviously, what I'm doing now is a bit more skilled, a bit more technical, a bit more, fundamental. So I'm just thinking about how I can write a course to potentially do what I do, or do I even write a course? So that's, I mean, I've paid a lot of money for obviously the, knowledge that I've done. I must have paid hedge fund traders I've had four meetings now. I must have paid about 35 grand just to steal 2 hours of their time. That's across like five meetings. So um, there are a few videos on YouTube creating your own trading journal with Excel, Google Docs. Yep, you can do that. That's no problem. Or even handwriting it. Sometimes handwriting it. I used to write down, how I was, feeling every day, you know, um, and then if I had a bad day, so for example, right, every time you blow an account, one thing that I did, I mean, I started recording me, all right, and you are upset, you're down, the excuses are coming out. Oh, I did it because I split up with my girlfriend, or oh, I did it because I did this, or oh, I did it because I was unhappy. No, you did it because you're an idiot. I was an idiot. But if you ever come to that moment, be brutal and watch it because I promise you it stops you doing it. The other thing I used to have, I had a picture of so I had my laptop here and I had a picture of my children here. And then obviously that stopped me because it was my daughters, staring at me like, Dad, don't fuck this up again. Like, come on. So yeah. So on EMA 5200, do you follow the 1 hour? I stick now on the 2 hour. I stick now on the 2 hour only. So that is my intraday time frame, and obviously that's what I stick to. So yeah. But right, I'm gonna end it here. And yeah, it's yeah. So have a great day. I think that we're gonna have gold trigger hopefully, and yeah, if we don't have anything trigger, I'll go a bit more aggressive a bit later on. But everyone, should have had a great week this week. It's been brilliant. I don't think I've spoke to anyone who's blown an account this week, which is great. So it's a really, really good start. So yeah, but yeah, so have a great Friday, and yeah, let's smash it. Let's finish this week strong. So have a good one, everyone.